And now from the Coastal Empire and Low Country studios of WJCL News. WJCL News at 5, working for you.
I need your help now. I need your help not only in this community, but throughout the city, because this could mushroom into one of the worst situations that this city has ever experienced.
Thanks for joining us tonight for our continued coverage of this week's officer-involved shooting. I'm Kevin Holmes.
And I'm Jennifer Andrews. Savannah Mayor Edna Jackson joining us on the set live after 2 days of tension on the streets of Savannah. Mayor, thank you so much for coming by. We appreciate it. I know these are trying times for the city of Savannah. A lot of people think, though, that the proactive approach to the situation, the shooting, by the city is making a difference. I know you were in a meeting.
Right.
Walk us through that day. How did you hear about it? What went through your mind? And why did you personally decide to go there to the crime scene in person?
I was called out of the workshop session because Thursdays, you know, we're always having city council meeting by Alderman Van Johnson and our city manager to inform me of the shooting. And at that time I asked Alderman, since it was in Alderman Johnson's district, I asked him if he would go out to and then call us back to let us know what was going on. When we took our break, I knew that I had to get out there because it was just the right thing to do. You know, when you're a leader in a community and you're leading all of the people in the community, you need to do what is right, and the people, the residents' comfort level can be better when they see that we are concerned. So the city manager and I went out and joined our Chief Talbert, and the members of the police department as well as the GBI were on the scene.
I understand it was very tense, but after you addressed the crowd, that made a big difference.
Yes, and I know that it was tense because of the anger. You know, can you imagine someone being shot? You don't have any information. And of course, we were able first to talk to the mother and to the family, and from that we went out to talk to the people.
Tell us a bit about that conversation with Charles Smith's mother. What did it go like? How did she respond?
I thought that she was she was happy that we came out to talk with her, and we assured her that there will be an investigation, that there would be an investigation, but it was going to be done by the GBI, because you know, whenever you have an officer or someone involved, you cannot investigate yourself. So she had been told that, and then we asked her for her concerns, and we listened to her. You know, she talked about her son and the fact that he had a 5-month-old and expecting another child. So any mother would care about someone in that position, and it was, yeah, she was very receptive of what we were saying, and we stayed until the body was removed. They removed Smith's body, and then we, from there, well, I continuously talked to the crowd, one-on-one or in little groups, and all of that helps to ease the comfort level.
How would you describe the relationship then with residents and police officers in the neighborhood prior to yesterday?
Well, when I was an alderman, I attended the meetings in that area every month, and I still go into that area, into churches and what have you. When you look at it, when it takes something like this to let people know that we are concerned about issues that they may have. On today, what they were saying was that we want to know, where can we go? What can we do? And of course, we directed them to our neighborhood association meetings that are held. The president was there. She gave out the information. And also that our offices are also open to them. It's a funny thing, but people will not let you know something at times until something like this happens.
I know there's a news conference today, and the city's goal, from what I understand, there were 2 main features that the city hopes to accomplish, and that is to find out what happened and to be truthful. And I think being truthful and transparent is what really the community is hoping at this point.
Exactly, and that is a commitment that we made. When I spoke to them on yesterday, I asked them to give us time to let the GBI do whatever they have to do, give us time to get those reports, to work with us, that we would let them know family first, what the findings were, everything that the GBI found out. They gave a preliminary last night, which I thought was was very good, you know, just for an incident to happen on that particular day. And we're going to hold to that. It's going to be transparent, because if we don't do it that way, then we have lied to the residents of the community.
I know in the beginning you issued I guess a request for peace. And then you also issued a statement right away.
Yes, and we've also this morning, Pastor Matthew Southall Brown and I spoke on the phone this morning, because I knew that we needed to bring the clergy together. And he said, Edna, I was looking for your number, because he felt the same way. But the response that we have received, the positive response at the church today, room full of ministers, community people were there, and others, because they don't want their neighborhood perceived as a neighborhood that is torn up because of this. They want their neighborhood to be seen as a neighborhood that is concerned and want answers, and that's what we're going to do.
Our crews were out there from the start until late last night. A lot of them heard the word trust over and over. How important is that trust when it comes to selecting the next police chief? I know we have 3 finalists right now.
Oh yes, I think we have to. We have to have the right person. But first, let me say that Chief Talbert has done a magnificent job. But I do believe that our police department does wonderful work, outstanding work. But you also, when you're getting a new person coming in, you also have to have that person's trust. Trust is earned. And I think with us working with whomever is selected and getting that person to know the residents across the city, that's when the trust level and how he will interact with the community. That's how trust happens.
Do you plan on using this particular scenario in the process for hiring the next police chief at all?
This particular situation, yeah, it's a situation that I wish had never happened, but I'm sure that as it has been across media, that everyone knows about it, even the candidates.
You know, Mayor, let's talk about that, because this story has really captured national headlines. A lot of people are watching from outside of Savannah.
Right.
What do you want to tell them about the developments? What's the one takeaway you want folks from outside this area to walk away with?
To know that we are working very diligently with the GBI, with the residents, with the neighbors, with the family, and that we want our community to give us a chance to bring this to a resolve. That is most important, and that we're going to be up and above board. One of the stations, national stations, asked me, was addressing, well, you have a lot of females in positions. I said, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, if we can get the job done, that's what we need to do, whether you are male or a female. It is about connecting to the people, and we feel that we are connected to the people.
All right. Well, Mayor, we certainly appreciate you coming by. I think you've got 1 or 2 things on your plate, so I know time is of the essence for you. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
May I say one thing?
Absolutely.
I want to thank all of the stations for covering. We want everyone to remain calm. There are a lot of innuendos out there, but I'm asking the residents of this community to wait until we get the reports, and we will share that report with the family first. But thank you for listening to us and for remaining calm these couple of days.
All right, there you have it, a personal message from Savannah Mayor Edna Jackson. Thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you.
We
Thanks for your
appreciate
time.
Thank you.
you addressing all our concerns.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Meanwhile, as things got heated yesterday, some neighbors say it was the guidance of city leaders that helped keep things calm. Community members and officials hope calm remains tonight and in the coming days. WJCL's Nick Notario joins us live from the West Side community where a peace march will soon be underway. Nick?
Yeah, this is Augusta Avenue and Eagle Street. We're expecting marchers to come out here and do a peaceful protest. Something like this happened last night and there were no issues. People were holding signs, though, that said justice for Mr. D. Mr. D, of course, the nickname for the man who was shot and killed yesterday. Now, let me show you what's going on right now behind me. This is where more than 100 people gathered yesterday, and the body laid not too far from where we are right now. But these people we're expecting are going to take part in the march this evening. Last night, as I mentioned, there were dozens of people. From what we've been told, there's going to be a number of marches in the next couple days as people try to wait and gather this information. You just heard from Savannah Mayor Edna Jackson, who has asked for peace and calm, and so far from people that we have talked to, that's exactly what they want to do. They're hoping that as the weekend comes in, if people travel to Savannah if they want to take part in these demonstrations, that they do so peacefully. They do not want anything to happen here like happened up in Ferguson. They want answers. They feel like they have a right to those answers, but they're going to make sure that they do it very peacefully. Now, coming up a little bit later in the show, you're going to hear from some of those neighbors who listened to Mayor Edna Jackson and other city leaders, and as to why it made such a big difference just to get a message from the mayor herself. And we're going to keep on this, and we'll show you the march later on the show. But for now, reporting live from downtown Savannah, Nick Notario, WJCL News, working for you.
As you can see by the presence today of so many concerned leaders in our community, that we stand united in saying that we need answers.
And now God asks you to speak to your leaders that have come today to help employ a calmness upon this city.
There has been no violence. We don't expect any violence. We expect the people of Savannah to be the good people that we all know them to be.
When you compare lives, one life is of no greater value than the other.
Emotions obviously running high in Savannah again tonight after police shoot and kill an armed man in the streets of Savannah.
Well, WJCL has been bringing you this story since yesterday morning, so let's bring you up to speed on the very latest. Metro Police Officer David Janot is now on paid administrative leave while the GBI investigates. The Bureau says 29-year-old Charles Smith was shot and killed while officers were trying to arrest him yesterday morning on Augusta Avenue. Smith was handcuffed behind his back, but he was able to move his hands to the front of his body and kick out the window of the patrol car. Officers say they saw a gun on Smith and shot and killed him. A firearm was found under Smith's body. An autopsy is now underway for Smith. While the arrest encounter is all captured on video, and an autopsy is being performed on Smith right now. And new today, the Savannah chapter of National Action Network is also calling for a thorough investigation into that shooting.
Meanwhile, the officer involved is now on leave while the GBI investigates. Advanced Police Officer David Janot is a 10-year veteran of the Metro Police Force. He also has an extensive military history. He's on paid administrative leave right now pending the investigation. Meanwhile, WJCL News, we filed an open records request for all the personal and professional records of Officer Janot. WJCL News also digging up new information on the suspect, Charles Maynard Smith. Thursday's shooting happened when police were arresting Smith on outstanding warrants. We've uncovered he is no stranger to the law. Charles Smith has been convicted on crimes including aggravated assault, possession of a firearm, possession of cocaine, and receiving stolen goods. He was just released from prison just over a year ago and was on parole.
And WJCL has also uncovered a YouTube video of a rap group that Smith was featured on.
The group is called YRN, and Smith goes by the nickname Mr. D. Let's take a listen.
Hit him at the front door. Bell face, I'm going for the gusto. I might just be the man who hit your man for a couple brains. Now I'm the man. Now I might just be who killed gorillas, lion, tigers, and better beware. I don't care. Send them hollows everywhere. My Glock be plastic, man. I call that chopper well. I might just tuck her here. I might just tuck her there. Never left her nowhere, so you don't wanna go there. My goons, we don't play fair. Get smoke like when my daddy was on that dope. We don't play, we cut dope. I might be in the streets, I might be in your. I might be selling weed, I might be selling dope. I might just be your friend, I might just cut your throat.
WJCL is looking more into Smith's personal life. We have been able to locate his Facebook page under the name Mr. D and found an array of pictures, mostly dating around 2012 and 2013. We also found his About section page on Facebook. All of these images were open to the public. The work section says robbery and extortion.
And Smith's family talked with WJCL about her son's death last night.
Justice! Justice!
Last night, the stream of protesters chanted for justice as they wound through Savannah streets. Family, friends, neighbors, they all held signs. They demanded answers. Well, the mother of Smith's child, who is expecting another baby, is beside herself with grief. And Smith's mother says it did not have to end this way.
My baby was in handcuffs. They could have tased him. They could have did anything to him. They searched him, put him in the backseat of the car. He had no weapons. If he did, why did they put you in the backseat of a police car with weapons? Y'all shot my baby for nothing. Why? My baby dead, but this officer suspended me. He walking around free.
They don't have their daddy. He's gone. Do you have a car? And it's not fair. It's not fair at all. They had to grow up not knowing who their daddy is. It's not fair. Why did they do it? Why? I just want to know why. Why? Why did they do it?
And Smith's mother says she just buried her husband 30 days ago. Now she has to bury her son.
A makeshift memorial is set up near the site where Smith was killed. Friends, family, and community members brought flowers and stuffed animals to Augusta Avenue today. Smith laid in the road for hours after he was killed. There are orange markings on the road today where the incident took place. Messages were left on some of the items, many saying R.I.P. Mr. D.
And our coverage continues on WJCL.com. There you will find more images and videos from the scene. Also a newly released incident report from the shooting, as well as the entire news conference city leaders held earlier today. It's all there on our website, WJCL.com.
We are working for you throughout this 90-minute newscast, uncovering new details regarding this officer-involved shooting. After the break, Ashley Lincoln walks us through proper protocol and procedure when officers make an arrest.
And we have uncovered this is not the first time a man has been shot and killed in this neighborhood. More on the string of violence that has neighbors on edge.
I'm gonna hold this up. Huh?
Take a couple steps back.
No. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Shorter than I am.
I'm shorter than you? Because you're on the scene.
And now, WJCL News, working for you.
When the car stopped, all you see the police officer come out of the driver's side door and pull the gun out. You ask the man, is you ready to die? Pull the trigger 3 times. You see the man laying on the ground, handcuffed. He's handcuffed, still handcuffed. You shot him 2 more times.
Some community members are crying out that Metro Police Officer David Janot did not have to use deadly force. So WJCL News is working for you tonight to get some of these questions answered.
That's right. WJCL's Ashley Lincoln has been digging through the Metro Police Handbook. She joins us live on Augusta Avenue with more on that. Ashley?
Yeah, Kevin and Jennifer, this is the actual copy of Metro's use of force policy. Now, questions are being raised like, did the officer have to use this weapon, and was there another method that he possibly could have used? Well, we took those questions to Savannah Chatham's interim police chief, Julie Tolbert. Metro's policy states an officer may use deadly force to effect the capture or prevent the escape of a suspect whose freedom is believed to represent an imminent threat of bodily harm or death to that officer or others. Now, because of the nature of the details that are starting to come out about this incident, whether Smith was trying to escape or had a gun, some may argue Smith posed a threat to Officer Janot. Here's what Chief Julie Tolbert had to say about that.
Officer feels threatened, or if that officer has reason to believe that the life of another is threatened, he or she does have the opportunity.
And another question we asked Chief Tolbert was, could the officer have used a non-deadly use of force like a taser? Chief Tolbert says not all officers have been issued tasers, but majority do. And she wasn't able to confirm if Officer Janot was issued a taser that possibly could have been used. But another question we're monitoring also is that will there be extra patrols in this area throughout the course of the peace rallies and marches that are going to be going on? And she says they do not plan to add any additional patrols in this area. It's all contingent on the activity. If things start to get more intense, of course, they will add more patrols. But for now, reporting in Savannah, Ashley Lincoln for WJCL News, working for you.
Thanks, Ashley. And our coverage of this officer-involved shooting continues throughout this 90-minute newscast.
Next, we take a look at another deadly shooting in that same neighborhood more than a year ago. Plus, a look at how you can track crime in your area. To get a better idea of the location of this officer-involved shooting, take a look at this map. The scene is near Augusta Avenue between Cumming and Eagle Streets.
And WJCL is working for you to see if crime is common in this area. Take a look at the Metro Police crime map. Well, we zeroed in to the crime in the downtown area near Augusta Avenue within the last year. Well, there does appear to be a few burglaries, thefts, and aggravated assaults. Again, this is within the past year. You can check out the full crime map for yourself by visiting WJCL.com and click on the web links tab.
For some, yesterday's scene brings back painful memories. In June of last year, a teen was shot and killed at the intersection of Augusta Avenue and Eagle Street, the same area of yesterday's shooting.
Yeah, WJCL Larry Spruill was at that shooting. He talked to neighbors. They voiced concerns loud and clear, even then said enough is enough. Here is more on that story.
I'm devastated. I'm hurt. I'm devastated, really. It's another mother lost her child in West Savannah on these streets in the broad daylight.
Strong emotions pour out from Janice Hall as she saw another shooting in her neighborhood, a scene that she can relate to personally after her own son was killed by street violence.
He got killed at night right down the street right here. No resolve. No resolve at all. We are tired. We are tired of all this daytime shooting.
Public Information Officer Julian Miller says multiple shots were fired in the West Savannah neighborhood, hitting and killing a black male right there on the scene.
A man laying on the ground dead, covered over with sheet.
James Postel lives in this neighborhood.
I have, on the back of my truck, matter of fact, I have no trespassing. Do that tell you anything? Do it tell you anything? What time are we living in?
We're losing our kids over here. A mother just lost her kid just a couple of weeks ago in West Savannah, same street.
An area that Hall says is being ignored.
Had we been in Windsor Forest, we would have had helicopters flying all over us. We would have police running all around searching everybody. We got a black kid, another black kid on the street dead again. This is sad. Who's gonna speak out for us? Who's gonna speak out for us in West Savannah?
We need to wake up. Other way, we need to turn back to the Bible. The only way that we're gonna survive, the Bible.
And that was Larry Spruill's package from 2013. Meanwhile, Greg Griffin was charged in the shooting death of 19-year-old Rasheen Alexander. We'll be following our top story, this officer-involved shooting, throughout this 90-minute newscast.
Yeah, we're also on top of headlines from around the Coastal Empire. An early morning fire has displaced a half-dozen families. Fire crews say it's not electrical, so we're working for you to find out more.
Tamar Theodore in for the chief, tracking your weekend forecast.
That's right, you guys. We're going to be taking a look